Hey guys and gals, Froggy here. This is my water shut-off from the water district. It goes to the whole house. As you can see, it's got a meter reader, has been replaced by I think it's some kind of radio frequency device. Maybe they just pass a wand over here or something when they come by, and they don't have to open it up and they get a reading. I don't know exactly. See, that's the other side of it, that little black disc. So I'm shooting this because I'm going to replace a hose bib, or several of them, that are kind of leaky and stiff after 25 years. To do that, I have to shut off everything because I can't. They're not connected to the house water supply. They're connected directly to the street water supply. That way, the reason I did that is I get higher pressure at the street. The pressure at the house has been regulated for devices such as dishwashers, washing machines, and so on. Anyway, this is the shut off to the whole house here. I just turned it 90 degrees. That is the shut off if you don't pay your water bill. You see, it's pretty much the same thing, and they can put a padlock through it. So pay your water bill, they'll come around and twist that and shut the water off to your whole house. So that's off now. I'm going to go to one of the hose bibs. I have to take it off, and then I can take a look at it and see what parts I need, or see if I'm going to replace the whole thing. So that's one of my old hose bibs. I wish I had a cap. I could take that off and just cap that pipe off, but anyway, I don't know if I've got a cap or not for that. I'm going to open this up and take the pressure off. See, usually that's a gusher, so pressure's off the whole house. Let's see what I need here. Probably like a channel lock, maybe 2 channel locks. Let's see what I got. Okay, so I'm back. They didn't have PVC at Home Depot, which would have been about 50 cents. But this is a galvanized piece that's the same thing, which was $3.50. So, 5 times the price, but I don't care. It'll work. So I'm going to put some Teflon tape around the pipe, the threads on the pipe, and then screw this down, and then that'll be capped off. Now, when you go to Home Depot and you need some help, always ask for an old guy, because they know things. So I found this guy. He said, wow, that is a nice bib. He said they make rebuild kits for these. Of course, Home Depot doesn't sell them, but he said if you go to Ace Hardware, they might have them. The rebuild kit has a graphite impregnated rope, and by rope I mean like something the size of paracord. It's small, and that goes in here, and you wrap it around this stem, and then that holds the water when this is in the open position. When it's in the closed position, it doesn't do anything because it's closed. And also it will include the correct washer for this, and it might give you a new nut too. I'm not sure. I know you probably can't see that well in there. There, you can see it a little bit. You have to be careful taking this apart because everything's going to be frozen, 25 years old. But he said soak this whole thing in vinegar for a day, and then it should come apart a lot easier. And he said it'll also clean some of this old patina off here, and if you want to brush it a little bit, make it look like new. But yeah, so I'm going to see if I can find the kit. And then right now I'm going to install this and turn the water back on. So let's do that. So Teflon tape, I've got lots of blue, which is your basic stuff for water fittings. This is for anything that'll hold gas or petroleum, the yellow, and it's just a little different. It's made differently. This one says mil spec, and you know, if you know something about that, put it down in the comments. I'm not sure why I got that one. Any of them will work for what I'm doing right now, but I'll just go with some blue. Hey guys, so I'm back on this hose bib. I found a company that has parts for it. I think maybe Champion and Arrowhead joined forces some years back, and now it might be a company named GRIGG, I'm not sure. But anyway, they sent me these part prices, and they do look like exactly the right parts. And check it out, $20 for that, $20 for that, $20 for that, $20 for that. Well, you don't need two of them, and you don't need that. So 80 bucks. So no, I'm not going to be buying parts from them. I'm going to try and take it apart, and I will find some standard flat washer and maybe some nuts that I need, maybe a screw that I need, and some of that graphite cord if I need that, and then I'll try and put it back together. So let's go. Okay, so this has been soaking in vinegar for almost a week. Got some kind of crystalline stuff that rubs off very easy there. I'm going to repaint that anyway, and I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is cracking this open. I might leave that alone and then replacing the rubber washer, the flat washer in there, and see if I need some cord around here. So let's put a wrench on this and see if I can open it. So very easy. I didn't even have to put a wrench on this side. I was just holding it in my hand and turning this. Let me see if I can rig this camera up a little better. Let's try that. You know, if you get me to 50,000 subscribers, I'll buy some studio equipment. How's that? Right now I'm about 26,000. Oh, look at how shiny that is underneath there. All right. I might have to take off to get at that. Might have to take this off. Let me get my flashlight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this bottom part off. That's okay. But there's a gasket here. I'm gonna have to source a new gasket. This one, I think I'm not gonna have to use a double wrench in this. So I'm not too worried about damaging this. It's just a garden hose, right? Garden hose bib. There. So I'm not touching any threads. Maybe I should have put, I don't know if this can open up enough. Shoot. Does not open up enough. Oh, I got one bigger. That'll do it. Okay. Here we go. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to put a little shock on that maybe. I might have to put this in my bench. Somebody's outside there. Let me try one more time. Get as much leverage as I can. I know my arm's in the way. I apologize. My arm is in the way. But you can see what I'm doing. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm going to have to put it in the vise. And then I'll use the big one on this.
Oh my God, what did you make out here? You're not supposed to be out here.
Okay, so I'll have to move the camera around and I'll give you a handheld shot. What I think is there's a pretty big surface area here, under here, all the way around of threads. As I look in here, and this goes inside, so it's probably threaded up to about there. So that's a lot of crud to break loose. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this in something that'll let me soak it with PB Blaster, and then I'll spray some inside too. I already did, but I want to give the PB Blaster a chance, maybe one day, to work its way into these threads, and then that's going to be my next step, what I'm going to try. So I suppose I could just use paper towel. You know what I mean? Just kind of wrap it like that. And maybe I'll shove some in here, and then I'm going to saturate it with PB Blaster or WD-40 or whatever, but I think PB is better. And then I'll try working on getting that screw out. Now let's do that. So you see what I did? I stuffed this with paper towel, wrap this, and then some tape over. I'm just going to take it like that, and I'm going to let it sit in a little puddle of PB Blaster, just like this. Oh yeah, baby. So we got it coming out there. I know what you're thinking. This is a lot of work for an old hose bib, but they don't make them like this anymore, and it's kind of fun to see if I can get it running again a little bit more. So that'll suck up the PB Blaster, and I think it'll get into those big areas of thread, and then I'll try it again. I'm going to let it sit one day. Well, let's see if this other thing will come off. Just a Phillips head. Move this out of the way. You put some motor oil in there too. What do you think? Motor oil? It's used motor oil. Won't hurt. All right, let's get a decent Phillips. Here's one, looks like it's about a number 2. And see how the vinegar worked on this. These are small threads. Come on. Well, I'm going to do the same thing with that. Same thing. I'm going to put in that same puddle of PB Blaster. Okay? I get room in there. And I'll put a little mixture of PB Blaster and motor oil. I want the level of the liquid enough. So it'll maybe get to that screw. I think that's got it. I have to get a new can of this. That's the best one, I think. PB Blaster. I'll put a link. Okay, that's it for now. We're going to let it sit a day. We'll tackle it tomorrow. See you later. Okay, I'm back. Let's get dirty. This has been soaking 24 hours. I'm going to try the screw on this one first. I don't want to put plastic gloves on or those rubber gloves because then it's not very grippy. I think I'll just wrap this around here. I mean, I've got leather gloves and I know I'm going to get dirty anyway, but let's start with this. Okay, I put the camera up on a little holder thing. This is going to end up being longer than usual because usually when I'm using one hand to hold the camera and one hand to do the work, it's shorter. Now I can let this thing run. All right. See, I'm gonna grip. I know you can't see this, I'm sorry. I should have the camera on the other side. I'm gonna grip the handle and I'm just trying not to strip the threads. Come on! Oh, jeez. Wow. Wow. That is on there so solid. I'm going to try some heat. I'm going to heat it up. Pause the camera. I should have a better torch than this, but I do have refills if I need them. I've got some old propane tanks. All I need is a hose. Oh yeah, this is getting hot. It's starting to smoke a little bit. All I need is a hose and a nozzle. I should make one of those tanks into, okay, let's try that. Don't catch on fire. not to burn myself. Ooh, that's got hot. It got hot. Right now, come on. It's hot. I know what. Impact. Okay. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna leave that rolling. Okay, it still should be warm. Let's try this. It should be a good fit. Hold it down tight. Yeah, baby. Beautiful tool. Impact tool is a beautiful tool. Just, you need to shock it. I mean, you could shock it with a hammer or something, but God bless whoever invented that impact tool. Yeah, that screw's still good. Wiggle this off. It's hot. Still hot from my little torch. Come on. Alright, that's on tight too. I think I'm going to take a little hammer. My favorite little ball peen hammer. This is probably my grandfather's, probably 50 something years old, maybe 75. How am I going to brace this? Yeah, I'll just hold it and try tapping it. Oh yeah, I can see it. See how it's tipping? Whenever I hit it and I'm tipping it, that means it's getting loose. Come on. It came off a little bit. Come on, you ma. I can feel it. Little slipping thing. It's got splines. See, now I'm tapping it on a soft surface. I should be on a harder surface. But I don't want to rearrange the whole bench here. It's coming a little bit. You know what I mean when it's almost there? Let me pause. Okay, here's how I did it. And remember, this is why you watch Froggy, these little tricks that nobody else shows you. I took a punch, just a regular old round punch. I'm putting that up against the stem. It's small enough so that it's not touching on the handle. So the round punch is on the stem. I already did it, so let's make believe it's still stuck. Now this is my one-handed camera thing. I put down. Okay, so my round punch is on the stem. Now I've got this other thing, which is like from the gym, and it's got a hole that's big enough to go over the stem. So the pressure is going down on the handle, and the round punch where my little finger is touching is pushing up on the stem. So pressure down, and then I just tapped on that real easy. Bingo. It comes apart. All right, so inside that's touching that. That's all there is right there, that touching that. Okay, so actually I thought there would be splines inside here, but it's just square. It's square peg into a square hole. Okay, and this is not damaged, and this is not damaged, and Froggy's happy. Now, what did we learn? Two things: heat and the right kind of impact on this, using the roll pin and using that hollow pipe on the top, and that easily pushed them apart. Okay, put that aside. Now here's the hard one, I guess. Let me think for a second. One more thing: heat the impact tool, and then putting it in the vise and hitting it. The impact tool was to get the screw out, and then the heat and the vise, well, the heat and the impact tool got the screw out. The heat and the vise trick got the two pieces apart. Okay, put that back in my holder. Now, coffee. Oh boy. Now this. Let me throw this crap away. All right, so we've tried what you saw previously, and now I've just got to figure out a way to, I'm going to try heat again, and I've got to find a way to get the right leverage on this thing, because it's hard, because it's round. It doesn't want to stay in the vise very well unless I really crank it down, and then I'm going to damage this housing. I try not to damage it too much. It's got a couple little marks, but I don't care. I can get a wrench on this part pretty good, but there's nothing. Maybe another bigger wrench on that side. Maybe 2 wrenches. Maybe we'll try that. All right, let's get some heat first. I'm going to turn this off while I heat it. This is just going to get way too long. Okay, I got it. I had to put a lot of meat on it. A lot of muscle. So here's what I did. 2 open-end wrenches. One of them is the body of the bib. The other one's on the nut that I'm trying to turn. So I'm going like this, turning like that, and I put it down on the ground get more leverage on it from my body and my upper body. And I just gave it, probably 50, 60 foot-pounds, I don't know, a lot of torque, and it turned. So for this one, heat the right setup with wrenches. Make sure when you're using a wrench and you want to loosen, have the strong part. See, this is the strong part. This is not the strong part. So have the strong part going away. Don't have the strong part. Don't have the weak part towards you. Have the strong part towards you. And then this other one always goes opposite of this one. See what I mean? Like that. Not like that, because when you do it like that, you're putting all the strain on here, which is not as strong as here. So there's a right way to use adjustable wrenches. Just a little side note. Look at that, baby. I think we're there. I think we've done all the hard work. Now it's stuck in the wrench. I'll just get another pair of pliers. And that happened because I had to put so much pressure on it. You know, this part here just got jammed up. Oh, this might not work either. Oh, there it did. Just need to unjam this whole thing. So, it's cooled off. So, you might even be able to use that gasket again. That's probably going to be hard to find that exact gasket. And that's brass on brass, so it didn't really corrode or anything. It was just on there really tight and a bit stuck together. So now we're at the parts that have been leaking. All right, this is a flat rubber or poly. This is old, so it's probably a flat rubber washer. Oh, I do have one more piece to get off here that could be tricky because I don't want to snap this threaded part of this stem off. So that's got to come off, and then so I've got a shut-off washer there, a seal there. And then on this, there's a washer in there too. So 1, 2, 3. I might be able to reuse that one. But this one and this one definitely have to be replaced. I got to get off this first. I'm going to heat it up. I have to be careful because it's got rubber there. And I'm going to heat it a little bit and then try to get it off. Maybe I'll just try and get it off first. I'm going to grab it up here. I guess I could grab it on there, but I'm going to grab it up here with some vice grips like that. Yeah, and little adjustable. Sometimes when you're trying to break something apart that's been together forever, go like back and forth a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look at that, sweetheart. Look at that. Oh, yes, baby. Coming right off. Coming right off. Thank you. Thank you for cooperating. All right. We are completely disassembled. I'm going to take a little break, coffee break. Okay. So that all was easy. You just take a little screwdriver and you kind of, well, I used this little knife to pry out that one. And I used a little screwdriver, this little screwdriver to pry out this one. Which was in there. And then this almost fell off. So just a little sidebar here. I found a company, Grigg, I think. Seems like they're a combination of Champion and Arrowhead, which are like the two original companies that made these beautiful shut-off bibs. And they do have parts. So if you're made out of money, $20 plus shipping, $20 plus shipping, $20 plus shipping, and it includes these washers. So for $60, you can get parts for this, which you can buy a cheap Chinese new one for like under 20, I think. But if you like old stuff, then you can do this. Now, the hard part maybe is going to be to find these three, or at least those two. And they have to be pretty darn close to the same thickness, circumference, of course, the whole circumference and the outer circumference and thickness. Okay, so I've got a few of these washer kits, little box that has like 100 different kinds of sizes. So I'm going to see what I've got, and if I don't have it, then I'm going to have to buy some more of this stuff. And I never buy just one. I buy a whole box of them, and that way, chances are I've got probably 8 more of these bibs to do around the house. This one was probably the most complicated one, but I'm not really sure till I get to the other ones. So now I'm going to shut off the camera while I look for these parts and see what I got. Well, there's all my O-ring sets. Wish me luck. Well, I have an amazing assortment of O-rings, fiber and nylon flat washers, grommets, but I don't have regular rubber flat washers, or this one. This one I guess you would call fiber. So I'm going to have to make a trip to Amazon and get some flat washer assortments. I can take measurements off this and usually find an assortment that will include these sizes. So that's going to be it for right now. All this stuff just needs cleanup. I might do a little bit on that cleanup. I don't know. I just don't want this to be too long, because people don't like to watch more than 12 minutes, 15 tops. So I'll be back. Okay, so this is what I need. Inside diameters, outside diameters, thicknesses, all in millimeters. Okay? Thinking about trying this one. The outside diameter and inside diameter looks pretty good. They're not thick enough, but I might try stacking them. I know that's not ideal, but I'm having a really hard time finding 6 millimeter thick washers. Found another one, and these are thick, so I think I'll order these too. All right, let me get you caught up on this brass water bib. And basically, there's two rubber washers in here. This one here shuts off the water coming out of the pipe. You know, the valve screws onto the pipe. This is sitting in here, okay? And this goes up and down, and it lets the water out, or sorry, out of frame. It lets the water out, shuts the water off. Water out, water off, just depending on how you screw the handle. So that's one washer there. I found one finally after getting 1, 2, 3 sets of flat rubber washers. This one's going to work. It's a little bit thicker, but it's not going to matter. A lot of pressure coming out of this valve, and I really am pretty sure it's not going to matter. So that'll go on there. This one was a little bit harder. This seals the water from leaking out of this stem here when you've got this open up. So most of it's coming out here. This is wide open to the hose, but a little bit might leak out here. And I don't really care if it leaks a little bit out here, as long as when I shut it off, there's no leak. All right, but I don't want it to leak excessively. I don't want it to be spraying out of there. So what I found was, I found some washers. I think if I stack 3 of these together, that'll be thick enough to work. However, when I screwed this on to seal it together, I found that this bottommost washer was kind of digging itself down into that hole right there. So I had to come up with something that's a little stronger and won't bend as much or deflect as much when I screw this top on. So this is nylon. I just drilled a hole out in the middle. The outside diameter was okay to fit inside here. So drill the hole out, and then I'll think I'll just put 2 of these plus the nylon. Now, the nylon won't do much sealing. I could actually even put 3 of these, I suppose, as long as I can get enough thread engagement to screw this back on there. The nylon won't do much sealing, but it will prevent these softer rubber washers from collapsing down into that hole there, okay? So this is what I'm going to try. You think I might even put it all together and try it before I do any polishing on this. So let's see if I can assemble this. So basically that's the whole thing right there. The pipe's over here. This screws into here. This is your seal that seals off the water flow from the pipe out to here. So this goes up and down as I turn the handle. This seals the handle shaft here. Sorry, that's a little blurry there. This seals the handle shaft here. There's the handle and the screw that holds the handle on. So that's the whole thing. I think I'll screw it together and try it before I polish this up. And if it works, then all I got to do is do a little polishing and call it good. I left out one thing. It was that little red gasket here, if I can find it on my workbench, that I said I was going to reuse, because I just couldn't find any of those new anywhere. Okay, I got it on there. I had to jam this little red flat washer down so that I could expose enough threads on this valve body to engage this nut end. without breaking it, which I did just by pressing a little bit at a time like that, pressing it down on there. And then I had to take one of those two rubber washers out of there so that I could get enough thread engagement on this nut to get onto this end of the valve body. And then I just screwed the handle on. It feels tight, which is good. You know, you don't want it to feel loose. And I'm going to knock off right now because I have to shut off the water to the whole house to expose that pipe, and I just don't want to do that right now. It's I got some family coming over, so I'll finish this up on another day. Okay. Hi guys and gals, back on this never-ending project. I'm gonna try polishing this a little bit before I install it on the pipe, and I'm just gonna start with Brasso and a toothbrush. I looked on YouTube for some suggestions on polishing brass, and every single one of them was about polishing shiny brass, flat, shiny, smooth brass. Nothing about rough brass, so I'll be the first one, I guess, if I get this to work. I'm not sure if the camera will show it, but that is brightening it up quite a bit. Oops. I'm going to see if I can find a little stiffer brush than this old toothbrush, which is pretty soft. Well, I know you can see that difference, and what I'm using is brass on brass. This is a brass brush, and Brasso polish, and I'm just rubbing it on, and I'm not even rubbing too hard. That's going to be good enough for me if I can get the whole thing to look like that. Okay, I am going to call that good. I also used a little bit of this Never Dull, which is a cloth that's impregnated with some kind of a polish material or compound or liquid, whatever. So those two, brass brush, a rough towel, and I also did this little stainless screw on the top. I just poured some of the Brasso on here, and I took the screw and rubbed it like that. So the only thing left is I think I'll strip this handle, which is not, I'm sure it's not brass, it's some kind of metal. Let's see. Take a magnet here. It's not magnetic. Might be aluminum, I'm not sure. And just spray that green like it was original. And then I'm going to screw it on there. So I'm going to see if I've got a little paint stripper in my with my chemicals, and I'll take this off and just let it soak in the paint stripper. If that doesn't work, I'll have to scrape it or something. I thought this was kind of funny. I found some paint and epoxy remover, and the can has got a hole in it. So I'm not going to use that. I tried some acetone, and I tried some of this Pro Thinner, which has, what has it got in it? I don't know if you can read that. I can't read it without my reading glasses in it. Anyway, I'm going to go to Home Depot after the gym and get some proper paint thinner or whatever they still sell in California. That's probably a weak version of real paint stripper, but I'll get some of that. This stuff cleaned it up a little bit. Probably it's okay to paint right now, but I'm going to try and get, I need some real paint stripper in my shop anyway, so I'll get some and then continue. Okay, we're back on this again. This is the project that never ends. I got some stripper, and you actually can't buy the good stripper anymore. The good stripper is a chemical methyl, something starts with a C. Put it down in the comments if you guys know what it is. But you can't buy it anymore because it's bad, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're going to try this. And I'm supposed to put that in a metal thing. And we'll pour some on top. And we're going to be very careful. We're either going to put gloves on or we're going to be very careful. Let's go. Okay, it says to let it sit about 15 minutes and then brush or scrape it off. I think this is also water soluble. Well, it says to clean up with mineral spirits. And it says if you get it on your skin to wash with water, so it's not exactly water soluble, but I think we'll just see what happens. Okay, so I cleaned the stripper off with mineral spirits, put it in the same little pie plate. Cannot say I am very impressed with the stripper, but this is going to be good enough to spray a new coat of paint on it. Whatever's stuck on there is stuck on there really good. So I'm going to just wipe it a little bit more, maybe take a steel brush on it a little bit more, and then I'm going to spray it. Okay, so let's finish this off. This is the spray paint that I decided to use. I think it's supposed to be a little bit better than regular spray paint. I don't know. The formulations have changed so much with the EPA, and especially in California, that it's like colored water. But what can I say? I just put a wire coat hanger to hold this thing, and I stuck it down into my trash barrel outside to catch the overspray, and just sprayed it a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 coats. Follow the directions, and I'm just going to put it together now, and I will report to you in the comments. I'll pin a comment about whether it leaked or not. I think it's going to be okay. Well, there you go. I put a little tiny dab of blue Loctite on this just to keep that screw in there because there's not much thread engagement, and I put some of this PTFE, did I say that right? It's a special lubrication. A synthetic fluorinated perfluoropolyether base, PTFE. Yeah, I said it right. I'll put some links to this stuff. It's waterproof. I put this lube in there because there's the rubber flat washers are not the original perfect ones. So I made do with something that I had, and I'm afraid there will be a tiny leak there. That's okay. If it leaks while I've got water running through it, that's not much of a leak. The main thing you want it to not leak when you shut it off, and that's this washer inside here, which I already showed you, which I think is a pretty good fit washer. So there it is. Like I said, I'll test it out and I'll put it in the comments if it works or if it leaks. Okay? Give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Ring the bell if you want notifications. Be safe, have fun, and be advised. This is took way more hours. It probably took me 4 or 5 hours to do this off and on, plus ordering parts and stuff like that. But it is a very nice hose bib. Okay, see you later. Thumbs up. Let's go, Brandon. Froggy out. Bye.